used to wake up with purpose. Every morning, at 6:15 sharp, Carl would swing his legs over the side of the bed, stretch his arms toward the ceiling, and shuffle into the kitchen where the coffee was already halfway done brewing. It was a ritual, comforting, familiar, and quietly powerful. He never said it out loud, but that first stretch, that quiet moment before the house woke up, told him something. I'm still here. I still feel like a man. But then came the mornings that felt different. Not worse. Exactly. Just a little off. His energy dipped. That sense of charge in the mornings faded. His wife would ask, "You okay?" And he'd say, "Just tired." But he wasn't just tired. Something was missing, something he couldn't quite name. Now, I don't bring up Carl because he's unusual. I bring him up because he's not. Men over 60 often carry quiet burdens, fatigue, doubt, trouble in the bedroom. Things we chalk up to just getting older. But not everything that fades with age is inevitable, and some of it, as surprising as it sounds, may start with what you swallow each morning. I'm Dr. Michael Harris. I've spent over 4 decades walking alongside men just like Carl through prostate scares, broken confidence, and those long nights of silence in the bedroom that no one talks about. And I can tell you this. The answers we're looking for? They're rarely dramatic. More often, they live in the small things, overlooked choices, quiet routines, and habits we think are healthy, but might be quietly taking a toll. So today, I want to walk with you through 7 subtle vitamin mistakes, small missteps that can slowly chip away at your energy, your performance, and even your desire. We're not here to panic. We're here to reflect, and maybe to shift. If this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If you're unsure, that's okay, type 0. Either way, I'm grateful you're here. Let's start with something almost every man over 60 does, often with the best intentions. You wake up, maybe pour a glass of water, and without thinking, you pop your daily multivitamin. It feels responsible, grown up, even smart. But here's what's quietly happening underneath. When you take your multivitamin on an empty stomach, especially first thing in the morning, your body struggles to absorb it. Certain minerals like zinc, magnesium, and iron need the help of food, particularly fats, to be fully absorbed. Worse still, zinc and iron can irritate the lining of your stomach. That queasy feeling, the sudden need for coffee just to settle yourself, that's not just age. That's a red flag. And here's the deeper cost. Zinc is a critical mineral for testosterone production. Even mild deficiencies can affect erection strength, sperm quality, and libido. And magnesium? That's your muscle and nerve support, your strength, and your calm. So day by day, as those nutrients slip through unabsorbed, your body quietly loses ground. Your hormones falter, your energy dims, your morning wood becomes less frequent. And over time, your confidence begins to slip. I once had a patient, Ray, 66 years old. He'd been taking a premium multivitamin for nearly 5 years. Every morning, right after waking up, no breakfast. And yet, his testosterone had dropped. His mood had darkened. His spark, as he put it, had gone thin. We made one simple change. He started taking his vitamins with breakfast. Eggs, avocado, a bit of olive oil on toast. Within weeks, his energy began to lift. He wasn't cured, but he wasn't fading anymore. These are small shifts, but small shifts add up. Now, if that surprised you, this next one might go even deeper because it involves a vitamin that's been sold as a heart helper for decades. Vitamin A. Often taken in high doses by older men hoping to support circulation, vitamin E can backfire, especially when used without balance. You see, vitamin E in excess, especially the synthetic kind, can disrupt your body's natural antioxidant system. Instead of calming inflammation, it can stir it up. And the place that suffers most? Your blood vessels, particularly the ones that allow for erections. Inside every healthy erection is a smooth network of vessels lined with endothelial cells. These cells release nitric oxide, the compound that helps those vessels relax and fill with blood. But when those cells are damaged by inflammation or oxidative stress, blood flow slows, erections weaken, Desire stays, but the body can't rise to meet it. One man I worked with, Harold, 72, had been taking 800 IU of vitamin E daily, faithfully, for years. His heart was fine, but his erections had vanished. His confidence followed. We scaled it back, paired it with real food sources of selenium and vitamin C. And not overnight, but within a month, things began to change. His words, not mine. I didn't realize how much I'd missed just feeling like myself again. Because that's the heart of it, isn't it? Feeling like yourself again. And we're not done yet. Because the next mistake involves a pair of vitamins you've probably trusted for decades, B6 and B12. They're pitched as energy boosters, mental clarity pills, and for the most part, they help when used with care. But high doses, taken daily over long periods, especially in synthetic forms, can damage the nerves, slowly, quietly, almost imperceptibly, until one day, you notice less sensation, less pleasure, a dullness that wasn't there before. That's what happened to Glenn, a 68-year-old retired engineer. He'd been taking a B-complex daily, 100 milligrams of B6, 1,000 milligrams of B12. Over time, he started to notice tingling in his feet, and something else he didn't want to admit. Sex didn't feel the same. It wasn't desire that was gone. It was connection to his body, to the moment. We switched him to lower, methylated forms, scaled it back to just 3 times a week, and slowly, sensation began to return. These aren't magic fixes. They're reminders that our bodies, even now, are still listening to how we treat them. If this helps you feel seen or even just more curious about your health, consider subscribing. I'll be here when you're ready. Let's take a moment to step back, because what we're talking about here, it isn't just vitamins, it's trust. The quiet trust we place in routines that feel good, feel smart, feel healthy. You walk down the aisle at the pharmacy. You pick the bottle with the words energy, immune, men's support. You do what feels right. But as I've learned, and as many of my patients have learned, what feels right isn't always what works. And one of the biggest betrayals of that trust comes in the form of something simple, even sweet, gummy vitamins. They taste good, they're easy to chew, and they carry the promise of convenience, especially for men who've grown tired of swallowing handfuls of pills every day. But if you're over 60, and if sexual performance or energy matters to you, gummy vitamins may be working against you in more ways than you realize. Here's why. Most gummy multivitamins are incomplete. They skip key minerals like magnesium, selenium, boron, all of which are vital to testosterone regulation and erection strength. They also tend to use low-quality versions of nutrients, the kinds that pass through your body without making much impact. Worse still, they're full of sugar, alcohols, artificial dyes, and gelatin sourced from places your body doesn't exactly love. And while it may not sound dramatic, that slow trickle of low-grade additives can affect your gut health. Your gut, in turn, affects your hormones. And your hormones? Well, you already know what happens when those fall out of balance. I remember a man named Dennis, 65 years old, proud of the fact he never missed a day of his multivitamin. But when I asked what kind he used, he pulled out a gummy bottle with neon letters. We read the label together. He paused. "Doc, is this even doing anything?" He'd been tired, foggy, and had recently stopped feeling interested in sex. He thought it was just aging. But 3 weeks after switching to a high-quality capsule full spectrum, bioavailable, something shifted. His energy returned. His clarity sharpened. He told me one afternoon over coffee, "It's like someone took the brakes off." This isn't about pills versus gummies. It's about honesty. Honesty with ourselves, about what's truly helping and what's just habit. And speaking of habits, let's talk about coffee. Morning coffee, for many of us, is sacred. A warm cup, a quiet moment, the start of the day. But if you're taking calcium supplements with that coffee, especially as part of your breakfast routine, you could be undermining one of the most important minerals your body needs. Here's the rub. Caffeine interferes with calcium absorption, reducing it by up to 40%. So if you take calcium with your coffee, you're likely losing a good portion of its benefit. Even worse, Calcium competes with other essential minerals for absorption, especially zinc and magnesium. Both of those directly support testosterone and blood vessel health. So when calcium comes in with coffee and crowds out the others, you may be doing more harm than good. Now, I'm not saying don't take calcium. For men over 60, protecting bone density is still important, but timing matters. Taking calcium in the evening, ideally with dinner, helps you avoid that caffeine conflict. And since your body naturally shifts toward bone repair and hormone regulation at night, evening is a better time to support that process. Simple change, real benefit. And that brings me to a powerful truth that most men never hear. Timing isn't just a detail. It's a lifeline. The body has rhythms, hormonal cycles, digestive flows, energy peaks and valleys. And when you dump all your vitamins into your system at once, especially first thing in the morning, you may be flooding it at the wrong time, in the wrong way. Some nutrients energize, like vitamin D, B complex, and omega-3s. These are best taken in the morning, ideally with a meal that includes healthy fats. Others calm and restore. Magnesium and zinc are prime examples. These support sleep quality, testosterone release, and muscle repair. Taken at night, they work with your body's natural rhythms. So instead of thinking of your supplement routine as a checklist, one and done, think of it as a conversation. What does my body need to start the day strong? What does it need to end the day in peace? Split your vitamins accordingly. Morning for energy, evening for restoration. This rhythm can gently nudge your hormones back into alignment. And when your hormones are balanced, everything gets easier. And I do mean everything. I had a patient, Lionel, 67, retired carpenter. He'd been taking everything right, he thought. A full suite of vitamins every morning. But still, fatigue, flat mood, struggling erections. We did one thing, split his supplements. Morning, D3, fish oil, and B complex with eggs and greens. Evening, magnesium, zinc, and calcium with dinner. He called me 10 days later. Doc, I don't know what happened, but I've had 3 mornings in a row where I woke up hard as a rock. His words, not mine. That's what balance looks like. Not performance on demand, but the quiet return of something your body had forgotten. That brings us full circle, because the last mistake we need to talk about may be the most dangerous of all. And that's taking vitamin D without vitamin K2. Now, I know vitamin D is essential, especially if you don't get much sun. It supports mood, immunity, testosterone. That part is true. But when vitamin D increases calcium absorption, and there's not enough K2 to guide that calcium where it belongs, things start to go sideways. Instead of going into your bones, calcium gets deposited into your soft tissues, your arteries, including the ones that lead to and inside your penis. It's called vascular calcification. And when those vessels harden, blood can't flow the way it used to. Erections fade, morning wood disappears, and everything that once felt natural now feels distant. The solution is simple. Pair D3 with K2, ideally the MK7 form. K2 tells calcium where to go, out of your arteries and into your bones, where it belongs. You don't need high doses. You just need the right combination. I had a patient, Will, 70, who'd been on 5,000 IU of D3 every morning for years, but his calcium score was rising. His doctor warned him about heart risk. And in the bedroom, things weren't working. We added K2, shifted his dose. 6 weeks later, his follow-up labs improved. But more than that, he smiled. My wife noticed before I did, he said. That's the beauty of these quiet shifts. They often show up in the people closest to us, before we even realize it ourselves. And if you've ever felt like something was slipping, like you were watching yourself from a distance, know this. It's not too late. Your body still listens. Your heart still responds. Your masculinity is not gone. We just have to meet it where it is. And we'll do that in the final part with one story I'll never forget. Roger had tried everything, or so he thought. He'd switched vitamins, joined a gym, even bought one of those fancy juicers his neighbor swore by. But deep down, he wasn't chasing kale smoothies or protein powders. He was chasing himself. The version of him who used to feel strong in his body, who used to reach for his wife in the early morning, not out of habit, but out of want. He didn't want a miracle. He just wanted to feel like a man again. I remember the day he came into my office, quietly frustrated, and said, "I don't think anything works anymore." He wasn't angry. He was tired. And for many men, maybe you too, that kind of tired goes deeper than sleep. It's the weariness of waking up every day in a body that doesn't quite feel like yours anymore. But what Roger didn't realize was that his routine, all those little well-meaning choices he made every morning, might have been the very thing draining him. He'd been taking a full stack of supplements, multivitamin, B-complex, D3, calcium, omega-3, all in one go, right after waking up, with a tall glass of water and a hot coffee. That morning ritual, it felt clean, disciplined, mature, but it wasn't working. It was overloading him. Some of those vitamins competed for absorption. Some weren't being digested at all. And a few, like calcium with coffee, were blocking the minerals that actually fueled his testosterone. So we did something simple. We slowed everything down. We split his supplements between morning and night, paired D3 with K2, shifted calcium to the evening, replaced the synthetic B complex with a methylated form and only 3 days a week. And we added real food to his morning dose. Nothing extreme. No prescriptions. No hormone patches. Just rhythm. Just care. 10 days later, he emailed me. "Doc, something's happening. I'm waking up with energy. With, morning energy." And 3 weeks after that, his wife sent me a note. "I just want to thank you. I got my husband back." Not the performance, not the erections. The man. That spark in his eyes. That quiet confidence. Because that's what this is really about, isn't it? Not chasing youth, but reclaiming presence. Let me say this as clearly and gently as I can. Your body has not given up on you, even if things have slowed. Even if desire has dulled. Even if your partner sleeps with her back turned these days, and you wonder if it's too late. It's not. What's been missing might not be youth or drive, but balance. You see, most men are never taught how fragile their hormonal systems become after 60. No one tells you how one small imbalance, one bad supplement habit can ripple through your entire system, dimming the very lights that once made you feel like yourself. And yet, no one tells you how easy it can be to start tipping things back the other way. Not with drugs, not with gimmicks, but with awareness. By stopping the little habits that do quiet damage, taking your multivitamin on an empty stomach, overloading on vitamin E without a balance of antioxidants, taking D3 without K2, allowing calcium to stiffen your arteries, flooding your body with synthetic B vitamins, numbing your nerves, taking calcium with coffee, starving your testosterone, trusting sugary gummies that deliver sugar instead of support, and ignoring the powerful truth of timing. Each of these mistakes alone can seem harmless, but over time, like drops wearing away stone, they shape how you feel, how you connect, how you show up in the world. I've spent 40 years listening to men in rooms where no one else is invited. And if I could reach back and whisper to every one of them, to the man curled up in shame or confusion or just that aching silence in the dark, I would say this: you are not broken. You are not too old. You do not need to disappear from your own life. What you need is to return. Return to your body, to rhythm, to the quiet care that honors the man you still are. So here's what I ask of you now. Let this be the moment you choose to begin again. Pick one habit. Just one. Maybe it's eating a real breakfast before your vitamins. Maybe it's switching to a formula that honors your age, not your old routine. Maybe it's giving your body what it needs, when it needs it. Not all at once, not all with coffee. Whatever you choose, do it with respect. Not the fear of aging, but the love of living. Because life, my friend, isn't measured in how fast you go or how young you look. It's measured in moments, in morning sunlight hitting your shoulders, in the warm hand of your partner, still reaching for you beneath the sheets, in the quiet return of something you thought was gone, but wasn't. If something in this message touched you even just a little, perhaps share it. Not loudly, but quietly, the way it was once shared with you. Someone else might need to hear it too. And when you're ready, whether that's tomorrow or next month, I'll be right here. We're not finished yet. Not even close.